That is crack-a-lackin'. Look at that red. What is that?
It's a secret. They try to make me telling people all this stuff. I'm not telling these people about my lip. Girl, how are you?
You can't come out here with a red lip like that. Ask me if I see it and then not tell me what it is. Come on now, girl.
Sorry, listen, everybody. I'm Sean Morrison. My lip is popping. I'm not going to tell you the color is, but you can DM me and I just might tell you. I am the Princess of Positivity. I totally am here to remind you that there is no shelf life on your healing. You can release negativity so your positive can reign in your brain, in your business, and your big, beautiful life. And now, if you haven't done it before, it's the day to get started. It's the day to get started. We are all about midlife women here up in this house of Getting to After. Let you be introduced to my co-host.
Hey everybody, I'm Morgan Bustos, and I'm your companion in transformation. I'm also a woman that knows what it's like to rebuild her life out of the ashes, and I help women rebuild their lives in a season that may have made them forget who they are. And today is about warmth. So welcome to Getting to After.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Listen, we didn't mention that we also are coaches. We both are certified EFT practitioners, and we use EFT or emotional freedom technique to help you get to after. And today is no exception. Now, if you've missed the first 3 or 4 weeks of this, where have you been? You miss a week, you miss a lot here. Okay, I'm just saying. So we're going to recap real quick. We've been talking about 8 ways to end well. End what? 2025. Now, I don't know about you, but for the most of us, 2025 has been a year. Everyone that I talk to is like, it's been a year, baby. It's been a year. Okay. And so because that's the case, we said we need at least 8 ways to end well. That's because we had 8 weeks. Don't worry, we're going to put some of them together and probably do a week off in there somewhere. But here's what's up. We've been talking about ways that you can take the next 8 weeks. We started at the beginning of November to kind of reset yourself, because we always think about resetting being in January. But what happens if you end the year so jaded, or you end the year so, like crumpled paper, that you don't have the wherewithal, the energy to start again? So we want you to end well. We want you to end with rest. We want you to end rejuvenated. We want you to end with some new things in your life. So we've been talking about that. We first talked about what? Nutrition, right, Morgan? Nutrition, and then intentional rest. And then, last week was one of my favorites. We talked about
Yes.
26 ways to do something new for yourself, but also to get an intentional self-care. Because sometimes we think that self-care begins and ends with a pedicure. Honey, it's not enough. It's not enough. Now, I don't want you to walk around busted feet either, but I do want you to realize that there's other things. There's other things, right? And so today we're going to get into our next one. So today's actually way 5. Say the first 4 that we went through, right? Nutrition, rest, splurge-worthy things you can do, and trying new things. Those are all about you and just you. That's all about you remembering yourself. But this next one has to do with like other people. And so this one is about reconnecting with someone that's important to you. How does this feel for you? Like, does this resonate?
I honestly feel like at the beginning when you said that, I didn't know if I wanted to reconnect with everybody, and then I realized that it doesn't have to be everybody. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, one of the reasons why I think this is important, and we're going to talk about this clear from the beginning, is that we're not talking about unsafe people. We're not talking about toxic people. People you had to heal from, or every single time you see them, you feel another need to heal again. The people you're with, that after you're with them, you have to call your therapist. Now, if you're calling us, it's okay. No, I'm kidding. If you have to call someone to talk yourself down from being with a person, that may not be the person that that you need to reconnect with. I think the whole goal behind this one is that there are people that we drift away from naturally, but they matter to us. Or there's someone that might still matter to you now, but you've kind of like drifted apart, or maybe there was a little rift in there somewhere, but you know that it can be okay. I always think about you and I, Morgan, that there was a period of time in there, probably like a good year, that we didn't talk, or maybe once or twice, but the connection was always there. Those are not necessarily the connections we're even talking about, right? Those people that you maybe only talk about once or twice a year, only see them once or twice a year, but the connection is strong. This is more about those people that might hold a little piece of your story, someone that saw your life as it got layered, with roles, responsibilities, expectations, and other things that you just had to do, but yet they still hold that piece, and you'd like to really talk with them again.
Exactly. Because I think we've all had that person that we really connect with that we may have drifted away from, someone that really, really makes you feel comfortable. Like with you, I knew I could always come home to you and have that same connection, or someone that understands your sense of humor, my quirky, goofy humor.
Very, very
Um,
quirky.
but more than anything, like somebody who accepted me before I felt like I had to be perfect. They
Yeah,
just
yeah,
loved me for just being me. But then life just kind of separated us.
yeah, yeah. So, I think because there's so many reasons why in midlife, we're always talking about midlife women. And for those of you who've never been with us before, this is your first time, welcome. Welcome
Mhm.
to the premiere, or if you're watching this in replay, thank you. One of the things about midlife in general, and if you're in midlife, and we're talking anywhere from late 30s, 40s, 50s, and up, is that women tend to drift, not just from each other, but even from our ideas, from our dreams. And we're just
Mhm.
talking today about people, but it's just a tendency that happens. And I'm thinking like some of the reasons for me, Morgan, that it has happened, and it's happened lots of times. I have most of my friends live all over the country and some live in other countries. And so I don't get to connect with them often. And sometimes it is a couple years. And I really feel that I miss them, but
Mhm.
life gets full. Maybe their life got full. And full can mean any number of things, right? It can be something like, when you become a parent, right? When you're a little younger, you become a parent, or older and become a parent, or become a caregiver, which is just another kind of parenting, right? Um,
Mhm.
or career shifts. I know for myself, there was a time back in the day when I was working for McAfee where there were people that I became super close with again because of places I had to travel. When I
Mhm.
was traveling to Dallas all the time, oh, my girlfriend Tanya, it was beautiful because she moved from New Jersey, but when she moved when she moved to Dallas rather, I was able to see her. I never thought that I'd be able to do that. Now I was able to reconnect with her every couple months, and it was absolutely amazing. And then we drifted apart again because of proximity. I wasn't going down there. She moved away. So things start to happen. Or there's like those friends you have or those acquaintances you have that, you get coffee with every single day because you share an office, and then one of you quits that job. And you kind of never
Oh,
see them again. But that person was
yeah.
really like, they were there for all the dates. So you're pregnant, they saw you get married, they
Yeah.
saw the boss when he was mean, they saw all those changes you went through, and then
Mhm.
they're kind of gone. What do you think?
Mm, I definitely agree with that. It's hard when you have those big transitions in your life, but it also could be a lot more serious things too. So some people could feel like a sense of shame, and that's why they retreated and they, held back their relationships. Or a person could be, like what I went through, and you could be in survival mode, so you don't even realize that you're not as close with the person as you initially were.
Or you're
You know,
pulling away, trying to keep your protection up. Yeah.
keep them safe, keep me safe, keep everyone safe, kind of thing. And
Mhm,
then there's also a point where, like, going along the lines of that, where I started becoming more independent.
mhm.
So I didn't need people as much, the daily in and out kind of relationships that I had, because as I was starting to be able to take care of myself in a different way, in a more healthier way too. But what I didn't realize is there's those people still wanted to have a relationship with me even after all of that, So having to revisit that is good.
Yeah. That's deep. So it's a pride thing almost a little bit. Um,
Mhm.
on both sides. On both sides. I think that, I'm a natural caregiver. I probably overgive and overgive. Like I'm trying to cover you all the time. And you're like, I'm grown, Chantal. And I'm like, I know, stop calling me mommy then. Okay, that's her approach. Anyway, you can call me whatever you want. But so relationships shift. And
Mhm.
sometimes if there is shame, if there is like that vulnerability from before, and you're like, what how will this person accept me when I become whole?
Mhm.
Because some people are only there to see you broken. Those are not
Yeah.
necessarily the most healthy and whole relationships. So it's deep. I wanted to reconnect with a couple people back in the past, and they were like, definitely not. And it only took one time to know that, oh, they're not safe. And so I ran in the other direction. But I wanted to keep this one in because it's like a little anchor for your soul. When you remember someone
Mhm.
that's important, you have that fondness and you kind of want to lean back into them. Honestly, I feel that 2025, for me personally, but for a lot of my clients and people that I speak to and acquaintances and friends, and basically everywhere I go, people are like 2025 though.
It
I'm
was
like,
a lot.
I'm like, yeah, I know. And that's why reconnection matters so much right now because I think that we're all trying to, get into, even if we don't know it, how do we get the reset to go? Like, I'm personally in the middle of a huge reset before the beginning of 2026. And
And
um, these 8 ways are helping me, but mine is pretty deep. And reconnection has a huge piece in it. I did a little digging, and in some of the reading I was doing, it was amazing the things that came up with it. It made me think of this, that when you reconnect with someone, you know how when you see them and your kind of eyes light up, sometimes they may tear like you and me when we first
yes.
met 2022. Let's not even go there.
Yes.
It's like that all of that, that's all literally going on inside your body. It's not
Mhm,
just what's physically happening on the outside. You got dopamine coming to the party, you got oxytocin
mhm,
coming, all those little happy chemicals, the endorphins are like, "Let me out, let me out." And when you feel those things, like you see the person, you get the chills. These are
mhm,
all things that are happening to your body, but it's happening from the inside. So reconnection can be so amazing for your nervous system and for your body that you don't even know that all this stuff is resetting. It's actually like a little whisper for your body saying, "You're not alone. You're
mhm.
supported. You still matter." And I remember those things you went through because I was thinking that at a certain age, you get to a point where no one knows who you were when you were 15.
Oh, that's a good point.
You
'Cause
know
so
what I
much
mean?
has happened since then, right? And you do go through the different stages of your friends and the different stages of your life where you may have moved, you travel, that kinda thing, or people, just they just take a step back. So
Yeah.
that's a good point, yeah.
So I love this idea that when we get back together with someone, that our nervous system, does a deep inhale. Because to me, being able to just, it's like everything just comes
Mhm,
down. And for me, it's not really a reconnection thing. You know how close I'm with my sister, but no matter when I get to spend time with her over, even a couple of hours, there have been times where she has literally driven 4 hours to see me for an hour. She's done
Oh,
that for me. I have flown across the country and back to be there with her for 2 days because we're
mhm,
that important to each other. It doesn't even matter. When I see her, it's because she's that important to me. So, it's subtle, but the brain brings back all those feelings of the past. It brings back all those rhythms. And if
mhm,
you've been through, say, a difficult season, reconnection can help you do all those things, lift your mood, bring your body into like a downshift reset. And it can bring you back to that sense of community and anchor you in hope. It's like your
mhm.
body's saying, you're still capable of joy. You're still capable of connection. Because sometimes when we've let everybody out, like I imagine that might have happened to you when you're like, I
Mhm,
have to shut everyone out for my family to be safe, for me to be safe. And when you
mhm.
were ready to like get back out there, it must have been such a good feeling.
It's a wonderful feeling, and then also in midlife, we really need a lot more of that. I think one of the things that I really, appreciate is having a sense of belonging,
Yeah,
because of having to transplant so many times and, like, get up and move and do all that jazz. You feel alone, so being able to have a sense of belonging, feeling emotionally grounded and safe when you
yeah,
actually settle in somewhere is really, really huge, and also just a reminder that you're not having to do this all by yourself, you're not alone on that. But I also know it's remembering it's kinda like when when you learned how to ride a bike, right?
mhm.
Taking you back to those good moments or your first job or that person, that manager you really, really liked or the customer you really liked or something like that.
Or didn't.
Yep.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Right? But as we get older, we have less and less of those moments,
Yeah,
but it
yeah,
really is important that we learn to recognize those good times that we have,
yeah,
and be grateful for them, because that can be enough, like, looking back at those moments in time and just being happy
yeah.
with that.
And especially if you have someone to do them with. It's funny that we're
Mhm,
both thinking that same thing, that the older you get, you start to lose some of that. Some of it,
mhm,
again, is because of proximity. Maybe the person isn't close, living close, or maybe because of responsibilities. But it really does happen. And it is such a huge loss when no one remembers. I think about my mom, and at 88 years old, um, she's one of the oldest living of her friends. She has a few that are still, that are still alive, but from way, way back in the beginning, no one in her family is still existing except for us.
mhm.
None of her peers, a few people that she's met in her older life, but like the ones back from Newark, New Jersey, they're gone. And so who's there to witness? And I think that's why I wanted to include it because who is there to witness you? Um, I just feel that it's never too late to go back and talk to someone. It's never too late. It may be vulnerable. It may be difficult. It may have been a little rift that you have to get through. Um, Practicing the idea of reaching back for someone so that you can share something with them, I think is really important. Do you have someone in particular that you've had to, or not had to, but wanted to reconnect with? You can include me.
Okay, I include you. You know what's funny? When you asked me that question earlier, I went like way back to my best friend when I was 13. Her name was Nicole, but I called her Axel. And we were the best of
Can we
friends.
digress for a second? You and the nicknames.
Girl, you know I love a good nickname. I
Okay,
don't,
go ahead.
you know what it actually is? It's that I can't remember people's names when I first meet them, so I just give you a nickname. I just
Okay,
hold
okay,
myself
I'm
up.
sorry. I hate to cut you off. Tell me about Axel.
No, no, no. Axel was my girl. Like we did everything together. You know, she lived probably like 4 or 5 blocks from me. I'd ride my bike to her after school. We would, go out in the country together. We just had so much fun. Our first cars we detailed together. Like it's those kinds of moments. And I think the last time I saw her, because she moved to Washington, was maybe about like 8 years ago. She came
Wow.
out here. Came out to Colorado to see her dad, and I got to see her for like just a hot second. But ever since then, we haven't connected again. But when I talk to her like online or something like that, it's like nothing ever. Like
Yeah,
there's no miss at all.
exactly, exactly.
Hmm.
And obviously she's safe and she holds those memories beside you. And I think that we're trying to talk about 8 ways of ending well. These are happy, good moments. And
Hmm.
we will miss them if we don't go after them. So I challenge you to find her phone number and call her. Do a Zoom call. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Um, Chat with her, catch her up because sometimes the people that we connect with on the random moment, all
Hmm.
of a sudden it's like they needed us so bad
Oh
that we
my
didn't
goodness.
know. Sometimes that happens,
Mhm.
and it makes me think that sometimes when we feel something, so if you're hearing this podcast and you're thinking,
Yes.
someone's name, Lisa, Michelle,
Yeah.
Rhonda, some name comes up to you, maybe your intuition is saying, go reach out. Because the end of the year is very difficult for some people because of different things that have happened. Go reach
Yeah.
out to her. Yeah.
Do you know how many times that's happened to me? Or out of the blue, I'll just be like, man, I wonder how da 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 is doing. And then I'll just send them a text message. And then they'll respond with a phone call, not a text back, but with a phone call and be like, you have
They
no
do.
idea how much I needed to talk to somebody. I can't believe you just called me. We haven't talked in years. I can't believe
Wow.
you just texted me. So you're
That's what
right.
I want to hear. I want you guys to have those moments. Like, definitely message us back if you have some of those. Sometimes we have to be vulnerable enough to go create them. I think it's a very vulnerable thing to text someone or DM them on Facebook
Mhm.
and they call you.
Mhm.
They don't mind being honest.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I remember I think it was maybe 2 years ago, 9/11. 9/11 always is a big thing for us because of being in New Jersey, my sister being stuck in New York. The fact that Mark just a day before the towers went down, or 2 days before, because it went down on a Tuesday, just 2 days before, because he's a pilot, he had flown the Hudson River corridor with a friend from Maryland. Actually, we were still living in Jersey, of course, and we have these pictures of the towers. We have these pictures, these last pictures, beautiful clear day, and he's flying this small plane, and there's friends that I had that were on the police force, they were firemen that I grew up with in New Jersey. And when the anniversary of 9/11 happens, it's a lot. I see a lot of posts on Facebook and stuff like that. And a couple
Mhm.
years ago, a guy that I went to school with from literally, I think I have pictures of him from first grade, Andy Caccio. Shout out to you,
You
Andrew.
remember his name?
Andrew. Well, we connected. We connected 2 years ago. Oh yeah,
Okay.
Andrew and me were Andy, we were a part of this little clique, you know what I mean? I was the only little brown face, but I had my little clique and we did everything together. We just rampaged at school. We were a mess in middle school. And I never saw him again probably since 10th grade. We went to high school together, but totally walking in different circles. Never saw him again. Never. but there are people that are a part of your life. He was a part of my life since I was 6 years old. Like, I
Mhm.
can never forget Andy Caccio, right? And he was always very kind to me because I was one of one. I was one brown girl,
Mhm.
right? And so a lot of people didn't accept me. I was called a lot of names, a lot of nice, unnice names. He was always so kind to me. And so this day, I see a bunch of girls that I went to school with, and all of a sudden they all popped up on Facebook. It was so crazy. And I saw him and his wife, beautiful wife, and I saw them posting on someone's, Facebook. And I thought, this can't be. So I'm nervous, right? Nervous. Like, this is like this grown man. But
Right?
I put a little message there and I was like, Andy, is it you? I knew it was him. He looks the same.
Yeah.
And then he told me, and he DM'd me, and we DM'd for like 2 hours. And he said, you know something? I never could forget you. And he mentioned all these different things. I played instruments and I was a little bit weird, just like I am now, quirky and all that. But he then broke down for me his role in 9/11, and he was a cop. He was here in New Jersey. He was not here, but he was in New Jersey. But because he knew that the brotherhood of police officers, he drove to New York to get in the thick of it and see what he could do to help.
Wow.
I was like, what? And he broke, girl, you talk about connection. And I said, it's exactly what I would have expected from him,
Hmm.
because that's the kind of person that he was.
Yeah.
That thing carried me for months. We just talked that one time.
Wow.
Now he'll like my posts, and I like his wife's posts and stuff like that. But it was just that moment of knowing this person who knew me since I was a little girl,
Mhm.
running, terrorizing Washington Street School, elementary school, and Edison Junior High. And knowing that even though all those years had taken place, someone knows me from a child. He has memories probably my sister doesn't have, my mom doesn't have.
'Cause he was there with you in the class. Yeah, he has so much that they don't carry. Yeah.
Exactly. So those moments to me are important, and it was vulnerable. I was a little bit nervous, like, I don't want him to think I'm not flirting, I'm not trying to, like, I see you're married, I'm happily married, but
Okay.
I was so I was so happy to hear the kind of person he had become. His kids are in college, one I think is in medical school. Like, just
Mm,
and he's had a long marriage, and it was just amazing,
mm.
So I would say that without, I mean, that was probably, for me, it felt like a heavy lift a little bit, but I was so happy I did it.
Yeah.
For anyone who's hearing the podcast today, if you know there's someone, if someone's coming up in your mind, just start small. Like, you don't have to do like this big, big thing. It can be small, like a little voice note, or if you have a photo, you could just take a picture of the photo, send it, and say, you crossed my mind today, and see what happens. If
Mm.
it's someone close to you, Morgan, I think that like for you and Axel, maybe it's been 8 years or whatever. I don't apologize for the gap. Don't give a bunch of it, well, this
Yeah.
happened, that happened. No, I mean, what's natural? Life is happening to every single one of us.
Yeah.
None of us are sitting by the phone waiting to be reconnected with, right? We're out living, right?
Doing our thing.
So I think, starting small like that, you can maybe share one memory. I think the door opens
Mhm.
naturally when you do that. Um, I probably do it more often because I like reconnection. I do like reconnection, but it's usually with people that it's not been like since I was, 15. It's usually like 10 years ago, something more like with you and Axel. So I think that trying to do it, I think it's really important. And as a part of one of the 8 ways to end well 2025, you may be surprised how you feel if you decide to go ahead and do it.
You know what? Part of what we were doing was with the 8 ways, one of the things we brought out was journaling. And this is a really, really good part for us to focus on, especially being so close to the end of 2025. Like the last couple of weeks, this is a really good time to do that too. And while you're journaling through that and releasing things, we can figure out who is actually going to be good for us to reintroduce into our lives and who we can just say, like, you know what, it's okay to step away from them and continue on with my life, you know?
Mhm.
Um, because we want to make sure that we end 2025 in a sense of wellness and be
Yes.
connected also, right? And then oh yeah, and then you also have like the all those prompts in your book, Fat and Happy. It doesn't have to be for a long time. I remember when I first started going over your book, Fat and Happy, I was like trying to do like a block and a block and a block, you know what I mean? Just like a lot of it.
You
But
were
really,
writing on the whole page from margin to margin. But, I mean, some people do that, but it can be overwhelming.
Yes, it doesn't have to be that much. Literally, you can set a timer for like 15, 20 minutes. It doesn't have to be long at all. And then you can use some of these journaling prompts that you had in there. They're really great. I'm just going to read them off because they were amazing. It was, who have I quietly missed?
Mhm.
What part of myself will feel seen if I reconnect?
Oh, that's
What,
good.
right? Like where do I feel acknowledged in this relationship? Because there's some of those that we did not feel that at all.
Yeah.
And then another one is, what feels awkward about reconnecting? And is that about them or is it about my past? I know for me, that can be really difficult because there's a lot of shame connected with a lot of things that had happened over my lifetime. And so reaching back out to people can be difficult because it's like, oh my goodness, am I going to have to talk about stuff I'm not comfortable with? Or what are they going to ask me? Or, things like that. So it's good to take a look at it that way too. And then something else is, what tiny safe step could I try this week? I like that one because it doesn't have to be jumps,
That's right.
leaps and bounds, just something
Yeah.
easy.
Yes.
And then also, what do I hope this reconnection brings back into my life?
Okay,
Oh,
those are
that's
really good.
good.
Yeah, those are good. I'll try and make sure I put all those into the description box below because um, the journaling piece of this is so important. A little bit of journaling on how do you feel about these things, how can you incorporate them in your life, I think is great. And one in particular that you mentioned, and I just want to highlight this about when you say like reconnecting with someone and having to answer questions or feeling shame.
Mhm.
I want to say that, and I don't think I'm crazy here. The majority of people, now I'm gonna say majority, not everyone. Majority of people, the majority of midlife women really want to see you do well. We want to see our friends have succeeded. Unless we're really unhealed, but for the most part, healed people, they want people to have been doing well. And I think that fewer people will say something negative than you think. More people will be so excited that you thrived, that you
Oh,
survived, that you're victorious. And I
mm,
think that's not just for a survivor of domestic abuse, that's a survivor, period. So those
mm,
people that might have seen you on a job, and know that you got fired or something happened, and then they see you thriving, they see you doing the thing, or someone that you may have met in college and you were totally disconnected from 3 years, and they see that, okay, no, you totally didn't become a doctor, but maybe you're a
right.
famous author, or maybe you're not a famous anything, but you have a thriving marriage, or maybe it's not that you have a beautiful marriage, but maybe you have great kids. I mean, I think that there's always something to celebrate. The thing that is not included in these prompts right here is reconnection from a state of wholeness and
Mm,
wellness makes a big difference.
huge.
Reconnecting in order to find wholeness, not so much,
Mhm,
right? So reconnecting, knowing that I bring something to the table. Maybe you didn't feel that way before, but knowing that you're bringing something to the table to that person, they're not better than you. It's not about how
mm,
much money they have. I don't care what their house looks like. Who cares, right?
right.
Knowing that you're coming from a sense of wholeness, I think makes a big difference. And I don't know, I there's a lot of thought work that needs to be done, and that's why journaling I think is important. And I think that knowing that I can show the part of me that I want to show. And maybe
Mm,
what I was doing a long time ago, maybe I was youthful, young, unevolved. You know what I mean? And now I'm doing better, and yet
sure.
reconnection is not about bragging and letting people see, look who I became. That also is tired for them. So the whole
Mm,
goal behind this is it can be a great practice. It can be a lovely thing to do, and it can be something that rekindling of a relationship that's healthy. You might find that I lost this person. I've been wanting them.
yes.
I've been needing them in my life. So and it's of course a great thing to tap on. So along with journaling, we always want to do some tapping. So I know Morgan, you're going to lead us in some tapping today. Um, this to me is important because whenever you ask your nervous system to do something that could be nerve wracking,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
it's a really good thing to do.
Something that I really appreciate is being able to use tapping at any point in time when I feel like my heart beating a little bit faster, or that lump in my throat when I go to swallow, or just that uneasiness in you. You can do it anywhere and at any point in time. It's very inconspicuous, or you can even remove yourself from a situation and go to your car, go to another room, just walk to the bathroom real quick.
Yeah,
To take care of yourself. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
yeah. So you're going to lead us in some tapping, Missy?
I would love to. So when you're journaling, some of the things that may have come up for you is like a heaviness or a feeling that you might be having, a pain. So what we like to do is give that a number. So from 0 to 10, give yourself a number on whether or not there's an ache, a pain, maybe in your shoulders, in your chest, wherever it may be at that time. And then go ahead and jot that down, because then as you're going through the tapping sequence, you'll find your body starting to notice those feelings, and
Hmm.
then you'll be able to see them start diminishing. So it's really a neat thing to be able to see if maybe you start out at a 6 or 7, and then by the time that you're done with it, you're at a 2. It's beautiful. So,
Yeah, yeah.
so
Thank you for that explanation. I think it's
mm,
really important that everyone knows how tapping kind of works.
mhm,
Um, so this particular tapping I know you're going to do is going to help if someone is thinking about reconnecting and they're feeling that kind of nervousness or a little angsty about it,
mhm.
or even a way of testing if this person is safe. So this can work in a lot of different ways.
I didn't even think about using it in that sense, but yeah, to making sure that that person is safe
Yeah,
to reconnect with, and that they're going to be beneficial for you moving forward.
yeah.
So, all right, we're going to start off with the karate chop point, and that is going to be located on the side of your hand. And we're just going to just gently tap right here. And if you'd like, you're more than welcome to repeat after me. Even though reconnecting feels awkward,
Even though reconnecting feels awkward,
honor the part of me that misses connection.
I honor the part of me that misses connection.
Even though I've drifted from someone important,
Even though I've drifted from someone important,
I'm open to a gentle and safe reconnection.
I'm open to a gentle and safe reconnection.
Even though it's been a long time,
Even though it's been a long time,
I can choose one small step today because I'm worthy.
I can choose one small step today because I'm worthy.
Beautiful. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. And then we're going to breathe it all the way out. Now we're going to start at our eyebrow point. This feels tender.
This feels tender,
Side of eye. And I feel the pull to reconnect.
and I feel the pull to reconnect.
Under eye. I can hold both.
I can hold both.
Under your nose. I miss this person.
I miss this person,
Chin. And that matters.
and that matters.
Collarbone. I want to reconnect safely.
I want to reconnect safely.
Under your arm. I can listen to my body.
I can listen to my body.
Top of head. I can take one gentle step.
I can take one gentle step.
Mm. Take a breath. Exhale. Eyebrow point. I choose softness.
I choose softness.
Side of eye. I choose truth.
I choose truth.
Under eye. I choose what feels right today.
I choose what feels right today.
Under nose. I choose safe reconnection.
I choose safe reconnection.
Chin. I choose clarity.
I choose clarity.
Collarbone. I choose peace.
I choose peace.
Underarm. I choose warmth.
I choose warmth.
Top of head. I choose connection without pressure.
I choose connection without pressure.
Mm. Another deep breath in. And an audible out. And then repeat after me. I can reconnect with ease.
I can reconnect with ease.
I can protect my peace.
I can protect my peace.
And I can let something beautiful return to me.
And I can let something beautiful return to me.
Mm. How was that?
That was good.
Yeah.
It made me think about how peaceful it can be when you're with the right people. And
Mm.
sometimes even though you do kind of, you're out of sync with them for a period of time, sometimes the best relationships get rekindled
Mm.
by deciding to reconnect. I have to shout her out, my girlfriend Jane. We were apart for so many years, and she was my best friend since I was 19 years old. And if it weren't for the way that she refused to let go of me, we would have lost sight with each other so long ago because she just moved all the way to California. And I was kind of mad at her when she moved. I was like, like what? But she just was relentless with reconnection. It's her gifting. She was
Yeah.
relentless. And because of that and the way that things work, she moved last year to my town from all the way in San Francisco, apart for over 30 years. And now she lives 5 minutes away. Like, I can't even.
Mm.
And the thing that's so beautiful is she has a special needs son, and now her elderly mother has just come to live with her. They just closed on her mom's house, and she's just coming to live with her. And here I am with my mother-in-law living with me, and then helping to care for my elderly mom with my sister. And it's those things, those caregiving things, those, all those big responsibilities, but now we get to do them together in our 50s. It's like midlife moments at the most marvelous. I just hope that other people get, when you're doing this tapping, that you get an idea of what that feels like. And I have to put up also making sure you have it. If you don't have our fall magazine, you have to get our fall copy of the Gain Chapter magazine, because there's so many tappings in there that, not
Mm.
necessarily about reconnection, but there's so many great tappings in there. And Morgan has done this exquisite recording in our breathing room, which is just for subscribers or people who get the magazine.
Mhm.
Um, so go to bit.ly/G2A-fall 25. You do not want to miss it. It's still fall. Like, you do not want to miss the breathing room in the fall issue, because Morgan's going to take you. It's amazing. You just, oh, you just
Yes.
be relaxed after that. You don't want to miss that one. Um, and two, Morgan, our midlife tapping circles are coming up soon.
Mhm.
Make sure that you get on the wait list. Let me see if I have a link for that. Oh, here we go. Here, make sure you get on the link. Make sure you get on the waiting list, bit.ly/G2A-W8, which of course stands for wait. Make sure you get on the list, because you're not going to want to miss it. Every single week, being able to connect with us, where we're going to talk about these things that midlife women are dealing with.
Yeah.
Some of the good things and also some of the ugly things, and how do you release them so that you can continue focusing on what's most important and be your best self, which isn't easy when you're having a hot flash, which isn't easy when your nest is emptying, which isn't
Yes.
easy when you're going through all the things that we're going through, but it's possible, and especially in community.
Mm.
What's your final words for us this week, Morgan?
Give yourself grace. Be patient with your healing. And it's okay not to have a relationship with everybody from your past. Like, use discernment, use the tools that we gave you today, use your tapping to work through that. If something came up with you that, didn't feel quite right, but use your journaling. That's huge. It
Yeah.
really is a tell-all for you for what's inside your mind and your heart and your body. So just really pay attention to the little things and then just think deeply about it and don't feel guilty if you decide that it's not okay to reconnect.
Okay, you just gave us a whole episode. Thank you. That was a whole word in itself. Don't feel guilty. We're not
Yeah,
about guilt here in this house. So listen, we're super happy that you come and join us. We love it. We will be back here next week. We can't wait to see you again. Let me just remind you that you want to make sure that you're going out to our website. It's brand new, it's hot and popping. Do not miss anything on the web over there, gettingtoafter.com. But we will see you next time.
sounds great. See you next week, guys. Love you. Bye.
Bye.